First of all, let me discuss about the internship. We discuss about the internship. So basically, you'll have based on your duration of your internship, we'll be assigning the task, and we'll be having a week. Like in a week, we'll have a class. In that class, we'll discuss about the task that you need to perform in the week. And yeah, once the class is over, you can start doing the task. And once you complete the task, you'll have a submission link that will be provided to you in WhatsApp group. You can just submit your task that you have done to that WhatsApp group. So this is the thing that you will be doing. The number of tasks will be based on your duration of the internship that you have chosen. Okay, so is that clear to you up to now about this internship? If clear, we'll just move to our first task and develop our first React application. It will be very easy just by using commands you can develop that. But you have to make sure that you install all the required things like yeah, okay. So coming to our task, our first task it was to build a basic React application. For that you can just use commands, that's all, to just install the React application, the basic React application. And if you see, for this to execute, you require the installment of all the required things like Node.js, React.js, Express.js. All these things should be installed correctly. So you have to focus more on the installation of all these three things. Once they are successfully installed, then you can just perform the steps that I am following. Okay. So first of all, you can just create an empty folder wherever you want. I'm just creating the folder on the desktop. I'm creating a new folder and naming that folder as app. Okay, click enter. So I have a folder called app on the desktop. I'm going inside that folder and opening that folder in the Visual Studio Code. You can just take any editor of your choice. Just type in code space dot and opening this. Okay, opening in the command prompt first, and in the command prompt I'll type code space dot, opening this in the Visual Studio Code. Once this is open in the Visual Studio Code, I'll show you the process that you need to follow. Okay. So here in the Visual Studio Code, you can see the folder which you have just now created, which is app. You can see that. Okay. Now to convert this folder into React application, you have to go to the three dots that are presented here. Go to the terminal and select the new terminal. And in the terminal, you will get the path of your folder. Once the path of your folder is displayed, you can type the command that I'm showing to convert your folder into React application. You'll wait for a few minutes. You'll get the path of your folder which you have created now. It will be displayed here in the terminal. You can see the path is displayed. Once the path is displayed, you can just type the command, which is npx space create hyphen react hyphen app followed by dot slash. Okay, so this dot slash that is presented here indicates that this is a current directory. That means you're converting this app into the React application. And if you click enter, it will start the process. It will install all the required packages, required dependencies, required folders and files that are required to convert this app into React application. It will take like more than half an hour. It depends on your internet speed. So yeah, this is the process that you need to follow to create a React application. If it is clear to you, I have already converted this folder. I'll open that folder which I have already converted, and we'll explore the things that are presented in the folder. We'll try to execute that and we'll see the output. Is that clear to you up to now? Okay. So now, as of now, I'll just close this process. I'll kill this. And I'll open the folder which I have already created. That is the desktop and the MERN Stack. And inside the MERN Stack, I have task 1. This is the folder. So once the process is completed, all these files and packages they'll be installed. I'm opening this in the Visual Studio Code now by typing code space dot. Okay, you can see that. So all these are the folders that you get automatically. I'll first run this. It take some time to run. Meanwhile, we'll try to export the things that are presented inside this folder. In a similar way, we'll wait for the path to be displayed. Okay, you can see the path. To run, you have to type npm space start. Okay, you can just type npm start. You can click enter. So it will be executing. Meanwhile, we'll explore the code that is presented because it is automatically generated. Okay. First of all, we'll see what are the things that are presented. So you have node modules, public, SRC. So node modules are like basically third-party libraries that are required to run your application. You have many folders inside this. They are required to run your application. And inside the public, you have a public folder inside which you have some icons, some images. So what are the things that you place inside the public folder? They are directly accessed by the browser. So you have some icons, some images, one index.html file. You can remember that index.html file that you are having. You have logos, PNGs, images, and so on. We'll discuss about this HTML file again. Yeah, I'm just exploring the things. You have some icons, some images, and you have manifest.json file in which you are having all the file names, their sizes, their types, and all these things. Display standalone because this is a single file. Theme color, background color, and all these things. You have robots.txt, so you can just disallow the URLs that you want by placing the URLs here. But as of now, you are not placing anything because it is automatically generated. We'll discuss about index.html file, which is our main file again. And if you see, you have SRC folder inside which you have app.js, index.js, app.css, and index.css. These are our main files. CSS anyway you can ignore because you will be just using the CSS in a trial and error manner. You can just explore through the CSS. We'll discuss about index.js and app.js files again, and the index.html that is presented in the public folder. These are our main files. You have one more logo which is SVG. You have setup.js. So this is the logo that we are using. You have setup.js. So you are just importing one link, that's all, one URL. So this is about SRC. We'll discuss about app.js and index.js again. In the similar way, you have public folder, right? So in the public folder also, you will discuss about index.html again. Now you will explore the git ignore that is presented here. So git ignore is nothing but if you want to ignore something, you will be pushing these files and folders into GitHub, right? So you can't push the things that are very large. Sorry. For example, if you are having node modules, you no need to push all the node modules into the public into the GitHub, right? That is the reason you can just place them if you want to ignore into pushing into the GitHub. So you can place all the things that you don't want to push into the GitHub. You have package log JSON in which you'll have all the versions. It will be checking whether all the versions are correctly installed or not. You can see. It will check whether the versions that you are installing, whether they are correctly installed or not and all. You have package JSON also in the similar way. It will be checking about the run scripts, all the attributes, dependencies, all those things, whether they are installed or not. So you want package JSON, package log JSON, and node modules to run your application, React application. And you have readme.md file. So basically this is like description about your folder that you are having. You can just describe about your folder and save this with the name of readme.md so that the new developers who are seeing this can understand about your project. So these are like basic things. Is that clear to you? We'll move and we'll discuss how the React application works if it is clear. Is that okay to you up to now? Is that clear? Okay. Now the main thing is how the React application is being worked. First of all, you're having a public folder which is directly accessed by the browser. You're having a file which is index.html inside this. So this is the first file that gets executed when you run this application. You can see here you are having some head, inside the head you have some meta tags, some link tags and all these things. So basically these meta tags and link tags, they are like optional because the code is automatically generated by using the command. You are getting all these things, but they are not necessary. If you want, you can just place all the meta tags like viewport settings, theme color, and all these things, but they are necessary, not required. So here also you are linking the icon. If you want, so if you can see the viewport settings. In the viewport settings, you have content like width and initial scale. Width is device width, which means you are having different screen sizes, right? Every device will have a different screen size. To fit into every screen size, you have device width, and you have initial scale to 1, which is initial zoom level, it is 100, and content color and all these things like they are just normal. You can just use them. And when you come to our main part, you're having title, which is React tab, and inside the body you're having a no script tag. No script tag, basically it is used like if you are using, for example, if you're running this in some browser and that browser it is not having JavaScript enabled, JavaScript is disabled in that browser. In that case, you will be getting this as the output. You need to enable the JavaScript to run this application. That will be your output. But anyway, in all the browsers, JavaScript is automatically enabled. If in case if your browser is not having JavaScript enabled, in that case you will get this as error. And here you can see you have a division, and inside the division you have an ID which is the root, and you have an empty division here, and the ID of the division is root. This is the main thing that you need to remember about the ID root. And because this is executed, this id root that is presented here will be called in the index.js file. You have index.js file where you will be importing the React DOM that are required to run your React application. You are importing the CSS file index.css and also app.js file. Okay, first of all, I'm just creating a root by calling the root that is presented in the index.html, which is in the public folder. We'll be calling that JavaScript by using JavaScript function, which is document.getElement by ID of that root. Once you call that, what you are doing is you are rendering the app. App is nothing but app.js file. Whatever the output that you see is basically presented in the app.js file. This is the workflow. So basically, you will be executing this folder. First file to execute is index.html. There you have id root in the division. That id root is called in the index.js file, which is presented in the src folder. Once you call that id root by using document.getElement by id of root, you will be rendering. That means you will be executing the app.js file. So the things that are presented inside the app.js file will be your output. So it has executed. You can see that in the browser by using the link. So this is your application basically. So the thing that you can see here will be presented in the app.js file. So we are in the app.js. We are having a function inside which we are returning the class name. So basically the thing that you are seeing here is not HTML. It will be similar to HTML because of all the tags, but it is not HTML. It is JSX, which is JavaScript XML. The difference that you can see is instead of class in HTML, we will be using class name here. Because class in JavaScript is a reserved keyword, you will use class name. I'm including a logo. I have a paragraph in which I have edit src app.js and reload. You can see that here. We have a anchor tag which will be taking you to the React.js site. And yeah, that is the thing that we have. So this is how the React application basically works. Okay, so this is about your task that you need to do. I'll repeat the task because we have discussed about the code also, so that is the reason. So basically the task is to create a basic React application. To do that, you have to install React.js, Node.js, Express.js correctly first. Once all of them are installed, you can just create an empty folder wherever you want. Open that folder in the Visual Studio Code. Go to the terminal by clicking on the three dots. Once you go to the terminal, you have to wait for the path of the folder that you have created. It will be displayed there. Once the path is displayed, you have to type npx space create hyphen react hyphen app followed by dot slash. Dot slash there indicates that it's the current directory, the current location you are making that into React application. And after that, you can see you'll be getting all these folders installed. And once they are completed, you can just open the terminal again, go to like you will be getting the path displayed again. Now you have to type npm space start and click enter so that it gets executed. You will get two URLs. By using the first one, you can just see it in your particular system, in your network. For example, if you are using Wi-Fi, so if your phone is connected with your laptop, then you can also use this link that is for your network. By using that link, you can open this output in the phone also. Yeah. So these are the things that are necessary. So this is your task and this is the output that is required to be shown. And yeah, so is that clear to you? Is this your first class or second class? Kushi, can I know that? Okay then, so if you have already submitted the task, then no need to worry. That's okay, that's not a problem. If you are interested, if you know about MERN Stack, you can also start doing the second task. Okay then, so is everything clear? Is everything clear, Kushi? Can you respond? Is that clear? Okay, okay then. So if you are having any doubts, you can ask me. Okay, okay then. So I hope everything is clear. So this is about today's class. We'll meet in our next class. Thank you. Thank you.